Hawkins says he was declared a suppressive person, a church term for an enemy of Scientology or its principles. He says the church has a policy called disconnection, which pressures church members to cut off all ties with anyone declared suppressive. The church denies that families are separated like this, that people are told not to call other people who have left the church.
They're always separated. If you have a family member who has been declared suppressive or who has been critical of the church, you cannot contact them if you're a Scientologist. If your son, daughter, father, mother has left the church and is critical or anything like that, you cannot talk to them, period.
He says that when he was declared a suppressive person, that was the last time you were allowed communication with each other.
That is a lie. That is an absolute, utter, total lie.
Catherine Fraser was Jeff Hawkins' wife. She continues to hold a senior role in the Sea Organization.
He paid for the divorce. He knew exactly what was happening. This is astonishing. He is a liar to the core. That is so not what happened.
Catherine Bernardini says she was never told to disconnect from her ex-husband, Mike Rinder, the church's former spokesman who left in 2007. You're saying there is no policy of disconnection?
No. Well, absolutely I did not at all disconnect from him. He was never told that. I said no. I'm not going to drop everything I've had for my entire life and what I believe in and what Mike believed in.
But Amy Scobie, another former Sea Organization member who once helped run the church's Celebrity Center in Los Angeles, says her mother was told to disconnect from her when she left.
In fact, I was at her house when Scientologists came with the issue, my suppressive person issue, to tell her that she could no longer see me. I was in the back room. They didn't know I was there. And they showed her the issue, saying how I violated command channels and had sex out of wedlock and all this stuff, and and that until I got back in good standing with the church, which I had no intention of doing, she could not be in communication with me.
It was rough. 3 years I was like in semi-isolation. I had to do manual labor every day, despite the fact that my back and my neck were in bad shape from past injuries. It drove me nuts. I was in so much pain. I mean, I lost my will to live at one point.
And it took me about 6 months being on the decks where you do slave labor, physical labor, no pay. Much like the RPF, you're under watch, and you undergo daily interrogations with their version of a lie detector.
I got involved when I was 16 years old, and I worked hard for them. I worked sometimes over 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. For less than 30 cents an hour, and yet when I couldn't do it anymore, I couldn't be a workhorse for them anymore, and I didn't want to be there, I was treated like I was a criminal.
I was introduced to Scientology when I was 2 years old. I eventually went to their boarding schools in the desert of California, and eventually, at age of 17, I joined the Sea Organization. I wanted to leave right away, but it's hard. It's a hard thing to overcome, the sensation that you're a traitor if you leave. You got to fulfill your billion years. 2 years later, I just left. I blew, as they say, with no intention of going back. But at the request of my family, because they didn't want me to be disconnected from them the way my uncle was disconnected from us for being declared a suppressive person in the 90s for taking a refund from the church in Ann Arbor, Michigan for services undelivered. The 10th of December this last year, he took his own life. So, I went back.
Like my religion. And that has happened in these situations, but it isn't the church saying you can't talk to this person, but individuals make decisions that they don't want to have contact with someone who is attacking what is their life.